Thanks for your company. We are live on digital address, from digital address GA0992539 on your DSTV channel, Multi-TV, Go TV channel 144, and around the world at myjoyonline.com. We really appreciate your company. The details now. Member of Parliament for Asawase, Muntaka Mubarak, is asking the Ghana Police Service to review the mode of operation of its anti-robbery unit to prevent it from degenerating into a Nigerian replica, which has attracted recent public protests. According to him, the unit is being used to intimidate the public for no reason. He cites the killing of the Zongo 7, among others, as some of the excesses exhibited by the unit. He's been addressing the media in Kumasi a day after one of 10 of his supporters was arrested in front of his office by the unit, was remanded into police custody. Nanaya Ojima has more.
If you look at the way they look, shabbily dressed, some of them with dreadlocks, some of them unkempt hair. If they were not holding guns and they were not in the police vehicle and you meet them by the roadside, your first assumption is that this person is a deviant. That's how you see them. Police everywhere are supposed to look decent and look encouraging to the society. We see that in Europe and America everywhere. Let the police tell us where they are getting this idea that the police anti-robbery unit will go out in operation without uniform. They are wielding guns. They maltreat their suspects. They sometimes abuse them.
Alhaji Muntaka accuses the police anti-robbery unit of acting contrary to the professional code of the Ghana Police Service. He cites the killing of some 7 persons to buttress his point.
The method of operations of the anti-robbery unit needs to be looked at seriously by the police administration. We are seeing what is happening in Nigeria and many parts of the world. It all started this way. And when the right-thinking Ghanaians kept quiet, it grew and became so abusive and so glaring. Now the abuse, it happens in their office or when they arrest people and nobody is watching. They take them to a place and shoot and kill them. And I've cited the Zongo 7 because that's an independent committee says so, that they were arrested and sent to a particular location and shot and killed. That's what the report says. And unfortunately, these perpetrators, and for lack of better word, these murderers, are still within the police anti-robbery unit. I've filed a parliamentary question on this anti-robbery unit, and it is my hope that the Interior Minister will find time to come and answer. But I know the time has run out because Parliament is rising next week for the election. Even after the election, I can assure you that it's something that I'll pursue, because when I want to believe that when the matter gets to the floor, other examples from other MPs will come out.
10 men on Saturday were arrested by the anti-robbery unit in front of the office of the Asawase MP. 9 of them were released on bail on Sunday after supporters besieged the Central Police Headquarters. But one of them, Audu Sulemana, popularly called Scorpion, remained in police custody accused of robbery. Alhaji Muntaka claims the said suspect has been an NPP activist who recently defected to the NDC and is being held for political reasons.
We know they are being used by the ruling government to foment trouble here. They want to push us to the wall so that when we act, they say, aha, you see how the NDC guys are behaving. We are civil. We will continue to remain calm. We want to act within the law, but we are urging the police to be mindful of these NPP people that try to use them to act.
He wants the youth in the Asawase constituency and all Zongos to exercise restraint as the matter goes through court. For Joy News, Nanaya Ojima reporting.
So how true are the claims made by the MP, and what are the main functions of the anti-robbery unit of the Ghana Police Service? I've been joined by Adam Bona. He is a security analyst to take his thoughts on this situation as explained by the MP. Thank you for joining us this morning, Mr. Bona. First off, are you aware of this unit and what do you know about it?
Yes, thank you very much. Good morning to your viewers. Yes, I'm aware of this unit. It's one of the probably the oldest unit within the Ghana Police Service. in the past, in Kumasi, it used to be called the Buffalo Unit. Anybody who has lived in Kumasi before knows the Buffalo Unit, because their way of dealing with criminals was distinct, was different from the way the general police would deal with, criminals. But in recent years, the name has been changed to the SWAT units. And all of this, so every region has a SWAT unit that deals with highway robberies, that deals with a certain type of criminality, hardened criminals, and all that. And so all of them actually comes under the DG Ops or DG Operations. And so, and the regional commanders are in charge of these units, the SWAT units. And I must say, to a very large extent, they are doing well. If you ask me, I would say the SWAT units are doing well within the police service, because if you go up north, they have dealt with highway robberies. Sometimes they have to disguise themselves, join, civilian or call them truck vehicles just to be able to get highway robbers. And so from where I sit, I think the SWAT unit isn't doing bad within the Ghana Police Service. I mean, some of us work with them closely from all the regional capitals. We work with them. And so I wouldn't want to think that they are not doing well.
All right. So, Mr. Bernard, the MP raises concerns about their mode of operations. In fact, he wants that reviewed, and he cites the killing of the Zongo 7, for example. And he says that he would want us to review the mode of operations because he doesn't want the unit or its operations to degenerate into what we're seeing in Nigeria with SARS. Do you think that is far-fetched, or it's a call in the right direction?
Well, I think that if there has to be a review, there should be a review. But we should not be quick to compare what is happening in Nigeria to anything closer to home. The politicians should do politics, but what is happening in Nigeria was, too much. I mean, the excesses were too much. But back here in Ghana, I mean, those of us who work with the security services, I haven't seen police officers, be they the SWAT unit, be they the general police officers, shoot at people, take them to corners and shoot them and kill them. We have had one or two excesses, but it is not anything compared to that of Nigeria. So if there was going to be any chaos in this country as a result of an uprising, if there is anything closer to that, it's going to be the politicians rather throwing this country into chaos, but not anything to do with the SWAT unit. And I say so because if you look at the Kumasi 7 or the Aswansi 7, those who were killed, they were indicted by a committee that was put together as to whether they face punishment. I don't know. I haven't checked. I need to check. I wouldn't be able to tell, but I know some compensations and payment and all that, even though that would not actually, you can't bring back life. They were indicted, and that is significant. It is significant because if you go to Nigeria, there's never been any occasion where police officers who were involved in this type of atrocities were brought to book. And that is what increasingly, infuriated, the young people in Nigeria. And so as far as I'm concerned, yes, if there are some excesses, I think that it can be looked at. But comparing it to Nigeria would be too much of an overkill. I mean, some of us work with them, and I will tell you that sometimes they don't have even the accoutrement to protect themselves. They go out there. I mean, I've gone out in the night with some of the units before, and you have to do that to appreciate how dangerous their work is. I mean, Kumasi could be maybe something different, but I must say, in general, the SWAT unit within the Ghana Police Service, they are doing well. They are doing well, and I would hope that their numbers can go up.
All right, quickly, I'll come back for us to wrap up this conversation quickly, but let me just bring viewers what the function of this anti-robbery unit is on the website of the Ghana Police Service. So they just spell out what the function of the unit is. And the main mandate or core duties of the unit include investigation of robbery cases, possession of firearms and ammunition without lawful excuse, use of authorized weapons for land guard activities, and any other cases that are referred to the unit by the police administration. The unit, as part of its crime prevention mechanism, embarks on night patrols, collaborates with intelligence unit and other units to periodically carry out swoops at some notable crime-prone areas, as well as the anti-terrorism within civilian facilities in Accra, and it updates the administration of various modules of operation employed by perpetrators of all facets of robbery. And so you can get more details on the Ghana Police Service website. So quickly, in wrapping up this conversation, Mr. Pona, Mr. Muntaka Mubarak, who is MP for Asawase, raised concerns about how these people are dressed and said some of them had piercings, they had dreadlocks, and that if they were not in a vehicle of the Ghana Police Service, you would in no way think that they worked with the police service if you saw them elsewhere on a regular day. And he adds that this doesn't happen in advanced democracies when it comes to policing. Is that accurate?
Not very accurate, no, not very accurate. Recently, if you saw a video that went viral of an FBI agent who was literally cuffed by, uniformed officers, some I think I don't know whether it was in California, one of the states in the US. He was cuffed, and eventually when he brought his ID card, the police officers released him, and he said he was going to take them out. And so you see, the police or the security agencies don't have to disclose their tactics to the general public. By doing that, it would defeat the core mandate of fighting crime by the security agencies. And I say so because I know with the SWAT unit of the Ghana Police Service, just like we read out their core mandate, fighting crime and, in civilian populated areas, anti-terrorism and all that, they have been trained in a way that is almost mimicking that of the military. But they are supposed to operate within the civilian populated areas. What it means is that sometimes they use informants. So for instance, you could have some informants who they could pick from, let's say, Accra, and take them to Kumasi, and these people would help them sometimes in their work. And so this is legitimate with regards to what the police do. And the idea is that then it becomes very difficult for the community they are using this informant or these other people they have co-opted in to target them, because they don't stay sometimes within the community. They are effecting a certain arrest. Because then if you stay within the community and you go out there sometimes after hardened criminals, they will come after you.
Mr. Bona, sorry to cut in. The impression you're creating is that the police may want to use these people as undercover agents. But what we are seeing, and even some of my colleagues who've witnessed some of these, for lack of a better expression, thuggish-looking officers who are not clad in uniform, even in court, bringing in criminals, then there's no undercover element here. So why would they want to dress them like that if they're going to allow them to work in the full glare of the public?
That is an issue that needs to be interrogated. With that aspect, probably one will say the police might be stepping out of bounds. And so once these things are captured, once these things are reported, I think that just as the Honorable Muntaka said he was going to file, a motion in Parliament to, draw the attention of the Minister of the Interior and the agencies responsible to ask them questions. I think that is the right way to go. Definitely, I'm not holding brief for them. Sometimes they, step out of bounds, and when they do, it is our duty as citizens of this country to call their attention and call the attention of the powers that be to let them know they are stepping out of bounds. But what I can say is, there are strategies. Not all their strategies should be put out there, because by doing that, we are probably allowing the criminals to be one step ahead of the those who are fighting crime in this country. And so as far as I'm concerned, we've got to be a bit circumspect when we are dealing with the SWAT unit of the Ghana Police Service, because as far as I'm concerned, crime levels are rising, and if we are not careful and we tend to bastardize them too much, they would probably feel they don't have our support. But that is not to say if there are excesses, we shouldn't talk about them. The excesses must be reported, but we need to be very circumspect when we are talking about their models, their way of dealing with criminality in this country. Even though I know the politicians sometimes would have their way, and the criminals know. So sometimes they commit these crimes under, behind some, behind political parties, which to me quite unfortunate.
I appreciate your time this morning. Adam Bona is a security analyst, and he's been sharing his thoughts with us on the call by the MP for Asawase for the police service to review or look at the mode of operation of its anti-robbery unit, so it doesn't degenerate into what we see in Nigeria with regards to SARS. This is your election headquarters, and the Menchia Palace has denied members of the Liberal Party of Ghana entry for failure to conform to necessary protocols. The palace has cancelled all arrangements for members who wanted to pay homage to the Asante-Hene, but the LPG's presidential candidate, Percival Kofi Akpaloo, who had prior notice of the reviewed arrangement, says massing up at the gate of the palace was to convince the authorities there to reconsider their decision. Nanaya Ojima walked with the party and filed this report.
The gate of Menchia Palace is always opened to all, irrespective of political colors. But on Wednesday, the Liberal Party of Ghana was locked out by security details at the seat of the Asante King. Leader of the group, Percival Kofi Akpaloo, however, says he was not surprised at the turn of events.
We were supposed to come last Friday, so they called us late to inform us that no, we should move it to Wednesday. So we got there. No, we got here last night, and then the personal secretary to Otumfuo called me and said it's not going to be possible today because of some traditional performances that they have to do. So, but the people have been organized already. We've all come all over from Accra and to here. So it would have been, not appropriate not to go there. So we started to go there to see if maybe they might look at it and say, okay, come.
Hundreds of LPG supporters marched through the principal streets of Kumasi. They held placards with campaign messages and shared policy documents with the electorate. Mr. Akpaloo, who is on a nationwide tour, expressed satisfaction with the acceptance of the party's campaign message.
Everywhere we've gone, they've received us very, very well, and we are 100% sure and certain that at the end of the day we win the elections.
Party members who joined the march are optimistic of their chances in the December 7 elections.
Way back, competed SHS. We stay home, no work to do. Yeah. So we just want to find work to do. So we just want to vote to Kofi Akpaloo. That's why we are here.
We have the courage, we have the possibility, we have the boldness to have the seat for Ghanaians as LPG people.
Me tema central na matana na me NDC youth organizer ho, but me tie Kofi Akpaloo me hwe no call message na me say man yi or talent ma Ghana for
parties na aba no a da bia MPP NDC say ye hwe say the papa ne nkasa ye city say the minu an kan ye no ye hwe papa ne nkasa ye ne nepa o ma Ghana na afan ya say 2020 ye timi sisam.
From Kumasi for JoyNews, Nanaya Ojima reporting.
Let's stay a while on the election. Some residents of the Infantaman constituency disagree on the selection of the wife of murdered MP Akokwansa Hayford to contest the December 7 election. Mrs. Ophelia Hayford will come face to face with James Esion, who was beaten by her husband in 2016. Now, here's something to give you a sense of what to expect at 8 p.m. when the Battleground airs on Joy 99.7 FM.
What we have done is that we have consulted with the various traditional councils and asked if indeed it is befitting for the woman to step into the shoes of the late husband. And they have all given us thumbs up. They believe that she has what it takes to take over. For the bereavement and the mourning, it is supposed to be so. But what is most important as well is that the job must be done. And if it must be done, it must be done well. And if it is going to be done well, then it has to be done by Mrs. Ophelia Kwanza Hayford.
We don't know Ophelia from anywhere. It was her husband that stood and won, and death claimed him. This seat is not for any family. Are we going to look on for the president to make wives whose husbands pass on replace them? It has happened before. If care is not taken, should the president die, the wife would be made to replace him. If we continue to do this, things might not augur well for us.
Do make a date with MFA Apau, host of the Battleground, later tonight at 8 p.m. on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, away from the elections, the Conference of Heads of Assisted Senior High Schools is demanding a review of the free SHS policy, especially the policy on PTAs in schools after 3 years of its existence. According to CHASS, the policy that was put in place 3 years ago has led to the collapse of PTAs across the country, and that has accounted for many abandoned projects at various levels, as well as support for schools. Speaking at the 5th annual conference of CHASS at Wesley Girls Senior High School in Cape Coast, President of the conference, Yakub Abubakar, urged the GES and other stakeholders to consider a reversal of that particular policy within the free SHS program to ensure effective implementation and positive outcomes.
The Conference of Heads of Assisted Senior High Schools have been deliberating on the role of stakeholders in ensuring quality education in Ghana in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic. President of the conference, Yakub Abubakar, poured out the frustrations of the schools as a result of the policy on PTAs. He says CHASS is demanding a review of the policy that was put in place at the inception of the free senior high school policy to enable the free senior high school policy realize its full potentials.
Our observation over the period is that PTA activities are gradually dying in our schools. Hitherto, the PTA were playing very significant roles in our schools. We therefore call upon the Ghana Education Service Management and other stakeholders to relook at the current policy on PTAs in our schools. Nana Chairman, if a policy is in place and for the past 3 years it is not working, then it needs to be relooked at. No wonder you go to many schools and you will see PTA abandoned projects at various levels. PTAs in the past used to cushion schools when there were delays in release of funds to schools. This made school running effective. At present, even though there are delays in the release of funds, schools do not have the leverage like PTA to assist them, and so making the effective administration of schools problematic.
Richard Kojonyako with that report. Now, government has praised COVID-19 testing centers in the country for their support in the fight against the pandemic. According to Deputy Health Minister Dr. Okoboy, even though the 3 T's, tracing, testing and treating, were effective in the fight or have been effective in the fight, testing centers did not neglect Ghanaians due to inadequate supply of PPEs. Speaking at a donation of some PCR testing kits and laboratory equipment by MODEC to 4 national COVID-19 testing centers, Dr. Okoboy said non-compliance for safety protocols is becoming alarming.
Really, I think we've done well because our labs didn't turn their back on us. The policy of tracing, testing and treating has been very key to Ghana's success story. And let me say that the last time I checked, we had a national active case count of about 514 cases. Well, our objective still is to do 0 active cases in the shortest possible time. And that will be possible with partnership like this, where we get the necessary items that are crucial in testing, tracing, and making sure that we keep a very safe environment. There are folks who assume that the pandemic is over in this country. People even sometimes ask me, Doctor, why are you people still wearing the mask? The virus is gone. You know, but fighting an infectious agent is like fighting a bushfire. Until the last one is extinguished, really the situation can get worse again. So let's all take this opportunity to remind the public and ourselves that we are still in this war, and that it's only when the last soldier is cut out that we can take a breather. So on this note, we thank you very much. We assure you of making sure that we supervise an equitable and fair distribution, and also support our agencies to make sure that whatever you've provided is put to very good use.
Deputy Health Minister Dr. Okoboy there talking about the non-compliance of safety protocols by Ghanaians. Well, the Ashanti Regional Health Directorate is also saying that if we do not change our attitudes, we could be recording a second wave of the virus. We'll bring you more on that in subsequent bulletins. You're watching News Desk with me, Bernice Abubedu Lanza. Still to come, updates, and this time round, focusing on education, the teacher at the center of quality education.